One. This is Monday, October 7th, year of our Lord 2019. We are getting ready for tomorrow's Chapter 2 test. So, here we go. Ready? Am I ready? No.
No.
You had to do 1 through 29, right? Or 7 through 29. Yeah, we have those together. And here, all right, here we go. Listen closely. If you missed it, follow the same. Zacchaeus, you haven't been with us in a while, so it behooves you to pay very close attention. Number 7. Your answer should be in this order exactly. Are you ready? Listen closely. You start with negative 42, negative 31, negative 5, 8, 11, 53. Let me repeat those one more time. Negative 42, negative 31, negative 5, 8, 11, 53. Number 8. Listen closely. Negative 100, negative 102, negative 58, negative 56. 98, 114. If you missed those, you got to figure out how you're missing those. Negative numbers, the higher the number, the further from 0 you are. So that's the least amount. Does that make sense? When you get to negatives, the higher the number is, the less it's worth because you're further to the left of 0. Number 9, your two answers should be negative 22 and 22. Because the first answer is, what's the opposite? And the second answer is the absolute value. Number 10, your two answers should be 13 and 13. Does everybody get that now? The absolute value of negative 13 is 13. Because absolute value is how far it is from 0. Number 11. Your two answers are 512 and 512. Number 13. Your two answers, Number 12. Your two answers are negative 102 and 102. Everybody's good with absolute value. And the fact that negatives are the opposite of positive. And positive is opposite of negative. Yes? Sure, buddy. Next, number 13. Your answer is negative 172. Why? Because the signs are the same, so you just add them and use that sign. Number 14. The answer is negative 47. Why? Because the signs are different, so find the difference and use the sign of the larger absolute value is the technical way to say it. Use the sign of the larger. Signs are different. Find the difference. Negative 47. Number 15. Positive 176. Why? Because the signs are different, so find the difference. And use the sign of the larger. Positive 500, so positive 176. Number 16. Negative 664. Why? Signs are the same. Add them together. Use that sign. Any questions so far? Looks like it's going to be a great day tomorrow so far, Case. Wouldn't that be awesome if all pre-algebra students got an A on the test? Number 17. The answer is negative 86. Why? Signs are the same. Add them together. Use that sign.
17.
Negative 86. Number 18. Positive 120. Uh-oh. Everybody got 18?
Yeah.
18 is positive 120. Because remember, you don't ever really subtract. You add the opposite. So they got 62 minus negative 58. You know what you do? You change that into 62 plus 58. And that's how we got 120. Does that make sense, everybody?
No.
Who said no? Noah, when they give you a subtraction problem and when you're working with integers, you don't actually subtract, you add the opposite.
I think that subtract it.
So look, this started out, Noah, as 62 minus negative 58. I changed to 62 plus positive 58. Does that make sense? You don't actually subtract, you add. And if you apply that same thing to number 17, negative 29 minus 57, if you apply that same principle to 17, that's how we got negative 86, because we actually add negative 57. Okay, only one person asked the question or was a little confused, which means probably at least 4 or 5 out there still don't quite get it. So let's do this again. Ready? This problem here, I'm going to use a different color. You don't actually subtract with integers. You add the opposite. Do you see how it's the same thing? Subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. So this turns into plus 57. I'm sorry, plus negative 57. Plus negative 57. That's how we got negative 86. Is that good? Everybody?
Yes.
And this became plus positive 58. Okay. Number 19, positive 79. Positive 79. Negative 43 minus, can this thing make it through the day? Negative 122. Negative 43, you don't actually subtract, you add the opposite. So watch. Now what is it? Now it's negative 43 plus positive 122. And what's the difference in those? Now you're using your rules. Signs are different. Find the and use the sign of the. So that became, what is it, positive 79? Look, really, key in here. On those 3, those are very important, because that gives you all manners of how you're going to see that problem to be able to figure out how to add or subtract integers. Everybody got it?
Yes.
The first few were easy. Oh, the signs are different. Find the difference. Okay. But what about this? What about when it's negative 43 minus a negative 122? That can be confusing. Just remember, if you just remember, don't subtract, add the opposite. Don't subtract, add the opposite. Now, use the rules you know. Signs are different. Find the. Okay, number 20. The answer is negative 77 because you found the difference and used the negative sign. Number 21. Negative 54. 22, negative 124. 23, 0. Why? Because anything times 0 is 0. So, Dominic, if he gets his test and he's got negative 81 times positive 4 times negative 6 times 0 times positive 18 times negative 4, what's he going to put without multiplying all that stuff together? What's his answer going to be? Hello? No matter how many numbers I put in there, if anywhere in that problem is times 0, isn't the answer going to be 0? Yes. 6 times 8 times 0, what's the answer? 48 times 0 is 0. 6 times 0 times 8, what's the answer? 0. Negative 8 times 7 times negative 6 times 5 times 0 times 4 times 3, what's the answer going to be? 0. All right, next. Number 24. Listen up. Make sure you got, oh, by the way, you'll hear this from time to time from pre-algebra students. All I did was miss I just forgot to put the right sign. Okay, for instance, if you put positive 432 for number 24, and you think, all I did was mess up the sign, you're 864 off. Okay, so you didn't just, you know what I'm saying? It's negative 432. If you wrote positive 432, you missed it by a lot, by 864.
Wait, what is 24?
24 is negative 432.
How is it negative 4?
Okay, because you got to multiply 2 times 3 times 6 times 12. Now listen, if you get confused along the way, listen to this rule. Ready? Keep this rule in mind, Lauren. If you've got a bunch of numbers to multiply together with different signs, if there's an odd number of signs, the answer is going to be negative. If there's an even number of signs, the answer is going to be positive. So keep that in the back of your mind in case you're getting confused as you do it. Because as you went along the way, Kira, you should have done negative 2 times negative 3, positive 6. Positive 6 times positive 6, 36. 36 times negative 12, negative 432. Number 25, negative 192. Number 26, negative 60. Got these memorized? Number 23 or 27, negative 140. And 28, 84. Anybody need me to say those again? I find it very hard to believe that 26 out of 26 pre-algebra students got 25 through 28 all right.
No, I asked you. I know. I thought.
Here they are again. Ready? Negative 192, negative 60, negative 140, 84. 29, 52 feet. 152 feet. You started at 110. It rose for 6 minutes, 18 feet per minute. What are you doing 6 and 18? 18 feet per minute for 6 minutes. What are you doing with those two numbers? Just got to check your multiplication. You add to 110, 108. Because it rose 18 feet per 6 minutes. Each minute, 18 times 6, 108. So you got 110 plus 108. That balloon's up to 218 feet high. Then it says it drops 22 feet for 3 minutes. 22, 22, 66 feet. So what's 218 minus 66? 152. Cam, you get it? If it rises, you're going to add. If it drops, you're going to subtract. And that's it. What's that? 28 was 84. All right. When you get done with 30 through 52, you're ready for tomorrow's test. The hope is that you get almost done, if not completely done now, so that any questions over all of pages 98 and 99, you can have answered. You're going the rest on 99. And here I am at the ready, armed and dangerous. Hey, anybody wake up feeling dangerous today?
Not me.
Hopefully Baker did. Hopefully Baker woke up feeling dangerous today.
I felt my crap on my mind.
Baker, touchdown there.
Hey, we're winning tonight.
You think? In order for the Browns to win, they would have to win 3 straight road games. The Browns didn't win a road game for like 3 years. And now we're expecting them to win 3 straight road games.
Yeah, you're not.
So, I didn't get to see Jordan Saturday. Even though I was down in her neck of the woods, her playground. JV game, I refereed it. The Southern JV game, I refereed it.
That's fun.
They played low.
Oh, yeah. I used to go to Friday games. I don't know.
Those little kids.
Kids
are? Okay, listen, we got to keep moving here. If there's something you don't understand, you've got to raise your hand and ask. Chances are somebody else doesn't understand it either. Who's missing up there? I should probably do attendance.
Negative is number 31, negative 13.
13? No, it's positive 14. It's too negative.
Mr. Franken.
Yes, logo
Who did you play for?
United.
Who did you play for?
United.
Did you win?
Yeah, they won.
They're
We played Alice.
this week. After you just played Lindsay.
Our hardest game next is volleyball. That's our hardest. That's the only game we have to play. And then we play Laconia.
Your dad's a Columbia fan.
Why?
He wants to get a home run. And if we beat them, you guys want to
The booklet I gave you before
Yeah.
is for paper book test. So I just pulled a tree and gave everyone that's the runs are on. Because there's not a view that shows you what to say, but there isn't, which is my mistake. There is a page in here.
I will take you if I'm
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there is way too much chatter for the day before the test when everybody needs to know exactly what they're doing. The goal is that y'all are successful. So I need to know if there's anything that needs worked on, and not just from you, but from your peers. Yes? Yes? If you're doing multiplication and division, if the signs are the same, it's always positive. If they're different, it's always negative. Yes? 36. You mean you don't know what property to name? When you get to 36 through 41, listen up. I'm not going to make you on the test write the name of the property that you're using. You're aware that there's this commutative property where you can move them around. You're aware of the associative property where it depends how you group them. You're aware of the distributive property where you distribute it through everything inside the parentheses. I'm not going to make you identify it during the test, so don't worry about identifying it on 36 through 41. So David, did you get 158? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
How do you do number 34? You
34?
Yeah.
How do you find the mean? How do you
I
find?
know what it is.
Did you add them all up?
Yes. And then
What'd you get?
divide it. 0.
You got 0?
That's what I got.
Okay, so what are you going to divide by?
How many numbers there is?
Okay, what's 0 divided by 8?
Negative.
0.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back to that. We mentioned a couple weeks ago, Preston. 0 divided by 8 is 0. This is undefined. In math, we don't say the answer is 0. We say undefined. You cannot divide by 0. But if it's 0 divided by 8, the answer is 0. This is mathematically supposedly impossible. Why they just don't say that? I don't know. They call it undefined. Like maybe it's beyond our capacity to understand. But the fact is, you cannot divide by 0. But you can, like if I have nothing, okay, I have $5. I'm going to split it with 4 of my friends. 5 divided by 5 is 1. I have $0. We're all going to get how much? See? None. So I can divide 0 by something, but I can't divide by 0. It doesn't make any sense. It's undefined. Mathematicians call that not 0. Undefined. The one in your book, answer is 0. That's number 30.
4.
What did you ask me? 34.
You still never got them by candy bars.
Is there supposed to be somebody in that desk? I've seen Elise, Jordan, Seth, Brett, Ethan, Noah. I've seen Zacchaeus, Casey, Sid, Jane, Isaac, Kiera, Rachel, Spence, Cam, Chris, Lorelai, yep. Dominic, yep. Mitchell, yep. Cordell, yep. How'd we get an extra? Oh, he said.
We are missing anybody in our class.
Brett. All right, 37. Negative 45 plus 97. Minus. Okay, I'm going inside these parentheses first, Brett. Since these are grouped together, they're associated with one another, I'm going to do negative 45 plus 97. Did you do that first? Okay, so signs are different. Find the difference. Use the sign of the larger. So now it turns into 42 minus negative 45. I add the opposite. So that's going to be 42, not minus, but plus the opposite, 45. This is number 37. Did I do that right? That's 52, isn't it?
No, it's number 35.
So 52 plus 45, 97. This is number 37.
It's number 35.
Lorelai, get that? Everybody, number 37's on the board. Go inside the parentheses first. Signs are different, find the difference. Use the sign of the larger, 52. Remember, you don't actually subtract negative 45, you add the opposite. Add the opposite of negative 45, which is positive. And that's how we got 97.
So for 36, you would add
36, you're going to go inside those parentheses. And you got negative 58 and negative 81. What's that give you? Negative 139? Okay. Now, you've got 19 minus negative 139, so it's actually 19 plus 139. I sense some people being way too casual about this, and then it's going to be on the test and you're not going to get it. We did 37 on the board because it can be complicated. Anybody need me to do 36 on the board? That's complicated. 36. You should have gotten 158.
How did you go 158? 36.
Okay, I'll do 36.
Yeah.
19 minus. Did I write it correctly?
Oh, I know. Yeah, you did.
Okay, here's 36. Inside the parentheses, Isaac, these are grouped together. So what am I going to do? I'm going to group those together. I got negative and negative, right? I got negative 58 plus negative 81. Make sense? So that gives me 19 minus, inside of here I've got negative 139. 19, don't subtract, plus the opposite. 19 plus 139. That's how we got 158. If the signs are the same, combine them, use that sign. Signs are different, find the difference. One more thing. Don't subtract. Add the opposite. So when I got here, I go, add the opposite. 2. Add the opposite. How about this language? Ready? If add the opposite doesn't make sense to you, change the last two signs. If that language sounds better for you, instead of add the opposite, change the last two signs. Whatever suits your thought process better. So here's the key tomorrow, really, for the test. Those of you that like to think there's some importance attached to getting done first are really going to have to test your pride or whatever that is that makes you think that. And when I say, did you check it? And then I say, did you check it twice? You're really going to have to make sure, did you follow the process precisely? Because again, you might think, oh, I got the wrong sign there. That's all I did wrong. Again, that sounds like a minor thing, which kind of is, but it isn't. Because if you got negative 97 as your answer, you're 194 off. That could be a very big mistake. You're working on something forward. Distributive, whatever's outside the parentheses, distribute it to every member inside. 5 times 12x, 60x. 5 times negative 20, minus 100. What you need, my man? I got graph paper somewhere. Oh, look at this. She's got a plethora of graph paper.
So do I. I have a bag. I have a whole notebook, but it's hard to.
You like that? How about a gaggle? She has a gaggle of graph paper. Gives it more alliteration. Gaggle of graph paper.
Hey, turn around a bit. Someone has a
Yeah.
question? What do you say? No, 38. Mine too.
Make sure you are, listen, the answer's in the back of the book. They don't give you all the answers. They only give you the odd number problems. They're not giving you the answers to say, I don't have to do the question. They're giving them to let you to verify, affirm your answers. So it is definitely okay to use the back of the book as a affirmation of you doing it correctly. So surely the odd numbers, check yourself. Remember, it's not going to help. It's not going to help your grade though to get it right by checking the back of the book. That doesn't do anything for you. 35. If you add all those together, Cam, they should all add up to 10.
9.5.
Wait. When you add them up, you can't get 9.5, Jaden, because there's no fractions there.
I got it. For what? Jaden, number 39. I probably just added more. For number 39.
Jaden, listen. If you're adding all whole numbers, you can't get a fractional answer.
ranges. Well, for and back to 42 again.
What?
Can you do 42 again? 39.
Simplifying.
Wait, is it 2,875? Number 30.
What number is it?
Number 39.
No, 42.
Okay. Distributed property, Brett says, take this 5 and distribute it to every member inside here. What's 5 times 12? 60x. Instead of 12 X's, now I got 60. They all live in Texas. Ha, ha, ha.
What?
If you're not paying attention, you just missed a great teacher joke. Bad joke, teacher. I said, you take the 5 times the 12x, so instead of 12 X's, now you got 60 X's, and they all live in Texas. George Strait people know what I'm talking about. Y'all never heard the song "All My Exes Live in Texas"?
I just got
But I don't have a St. Elliot one. I'm kidding. In Texas. No, I'm kidding. Thanks, Dominic. 3 minutes to make sure you are thoroughly prepared for tomorrow's test.
Sure, we'll go. Number 38. I actually don't.
Listen,
What's 7 times 9?
negative 28 plus negative 95.
Is it a negative 28 plus positive 95?
No. Negative 28 plus negative 95. That's the Chinese. No, they're the same. Listen, negative 28, negative 95. They're the same. Combine them. Yes, they're the same sign. And they're in the parentheses, so you got to combine all those things together.
Mr. Break-It.
Number 35, when you add them all up, you should get 10. You got to divide by 10. What's your answer?
1.
Yeah.
It is
1.
Sorry, guys.
I meant, yeah, just one.
Math that wrong. Mr. Break-It. Can I take the test tomorrow?
I don't think you should have to take the test tomorrow.
I can take it.
So you've been doing this at home on the homework? Everything we're doing, you're understanding?
We did a lot of this last year. We did.
Okay.
We didn't.
Isn't it funny that's how school works?
Yeah.
You're probably learning somewhere along the line about verbs in junior high math or language.
I don't know what we're doing. I've been doing history back.
You start learning about nouns and verbs in kindergarten, you get to 5th grade, act like you never heard of it.
You missed so we had to retake a verb. We had to retake a predicate. Everyone is so bad. I got a B.
Good. There you go, Bella. See, you've been learning about nouns and verbs, subjects and predicates since like 1st or 2nd grade.
Yeah.
And, okay, predicate starts, you draw a vertical line at the verb, everything else is the predicate, before that's a subject. And then I'm hearing not just from you, but other places,
I did good on
like,
it.
you all lose your minds, you forget how to do it.
Well,
And
that
you-
was actually really hard. I got all the together for the average.
Okay, why?
Because it was hard to. I got a B.
From
I
the
got
verb
a B.
is
I
predicate.
didn't do that. I got a high. Yeah, I got a high. It's really not that hard. I got a B.
Hey, here's to hoping that we see Julia, Johnny, and Sawyer tomorrow.
Bye, Julia. Bye.
Text.
Yeah, I want to be here. No, wait, tonight, Julia.